What is happening, y'all? Cowboy here, and welcome on back to another build update showcase. And today we're taking a look at my updated hammer builds. Now we have two separate builds on deck for today, one which is a all-in damage build, and one which is more of a lockdown build that aims to maximize the paralysis and stun of the monster to just keep them unable to fight. So both of these builds are really fun to play. The paralysis build was my go-to for the longest time, but I did want to do a proper damage build for hammer, and that brings us to today. Now, before we jump in, just some quick notes similar to the other weapons. One of the first things I want to touch on is our charge step. Now, I had some people mentioning, like you should use charge step for mobility, and I still don't think it's very good for mobility. What I do think it's good for is the iframes. Now, there are some iframes right at the startup on this, and it's very tight. As you can see there, I got bopped. But if I time this so that I go into the attack right as it's coming down, I can mitigate what would typically smash me, because if you've played with this thing at all before, this thing can smash even if you're standing right there. So there are very tight iframes, but the idea is, a big monster attack is about to come down. Charge step is going to ramp me up a tier, and so I could effectively charge through and then go into the mighty charge and then let that loose after charging through an attack. The other thing I want to talk about is counter strike with hammer. So I've heard some people say that you can get it updated, or you can get the buff through hitting offsets, and I've heard people say this for a lot of weapons. I have hit offsets with tons of weapons, and I have not seen Counter-Strike work off of an offset. I think it has to do with when the damage would come in, so maybe if it's a super late offset, but I tried to get it to work here, I couldn't. I did manage to get it to work with switch axe, but it was like one offset out of like 5 or something, so not sure exactly what the timing is to get Counter-Strike off offsets, but regardless, if we're going to be going for offsets and we're charging, there's a chance we're going to get whacked in the face anyway, and so I still think Counter-Strike is going to bring value to hammer. All that being said, let's jump in and talk about the builds. We'll be doing a hunt with each. And the first up is our damage build. Now, similar to other damage build, the king of the crop is going to be Ardian, and I actually kind of like the Ardian hammer design. It's reminds me a little bit of the Omniscient Greatsword, but obviously in the form of the hammer. And for this, once again, attack down the board with sharpness at the end. Now the set, as you can probably guess, is going to be Guardian Fulgur, Arc Vulcan, Guardian Fulgur, Gore. And similar to before, this is going to get us set up with Wex 5, Counter-Strike 3, Max Might 3, Antivirus 3, 2 Agitator, 1 Burst, and a point of flinch free. This obviously comes in with Fulgur Anjanath's Will, giving us second wind, which means even though the hammer can be a little bit stamina intensive with the charging, we're able to help mitigate that out and maintain a high uptime on our maximum might buff. And, I've showed it with all the other builds, but there's really not much else you need with this. Now, if for some reason you're like, I need some comfort, I absolutely need comfort. Well, in that case, drop out counter. We got counter or we got mighty, drop out a combination of them, grab some earplugs, grab a little bit of an evade extender if that's what you want. There's definitely some flexibility to this to change if you don't want to go all in on damage, but if you're looking to just maximize your raw output, this is going to put us at a 99% crit chance, excluding wounds, and it's going to come along with crit boost 5, which is just going to pump big deeps. Now, moving on from there, this is the one I actually really enjoy, but the Parahammer build. Now, as opposed to working with an Ardian, this works with the Binder Mace, which comes with a whopping 250 paralysis. It has Stamina Thief built in, and then to capitalize on that, we go Charge Up and KO, Focus and KO, and then a KO at the very end. We then combine this with 3 pieces of Udra and 2 pieces of Gore. So Meyer Helm Beta, Meyer Mail Beta, Grievous Beta, and then Beta on the Gore over here, along with an Exploiter Charm. And this is going to give us max focus, max slugger, max stamina thief, and max charm up. So right out the gate, our charges are coming up fast. We have 40% stun power, 40% exhaust power, and an additional charge up, which in my testing, this looks to be roughly 25% more stun, I believe, that's going out. So this hammer is going to be stunning everything on top of the 250 paralysis we're bringing to the table. And then just to help round things out, we obviously have Resentment at 5, which is a 25 attack buff. We have Counter-Strike at 3, which is a 25 attack buff. We have Weakness Exploit at 5, a solid amount of crit coming in from Antivirus, and of course our wonderful little point of Burst. And then the new Udra's Mutiny, which isn't all that good, but it is a little bit of damage that's going to get mixed in. And since we are working with new Udra, we'll have Resuscitate going off anytime we are afflicted with Gormagala's Tyranny. So basically, when we're trying to overcome Frenzy, we're getting a damage buff, and then when we overcome Frenzy, we're getting an affinity buff. So we're benefiting on both sides of the same coin. Now, as far as I know, that's bugged right now, and it also works after you overcome Gormagala's debuff. It's not supposed to work that way, but, you know, we're not running this for Resuscitate. We're running this because I wanted to have max resentment and max counterstrike. Now, if you want to add more comfort into this build, we have 3 Furrow Jewels. I would suggest dropping those out. Resentment is very straightforward. Each point of it is a flat 5 attack anytime you have red health. And, you know, we're going to be taking hits with this build. That's the idea. I'm looking to just be like, hit me. I don't care. Because we're going to be then paralyzing and we're going to be stunning. And so the health, you know, when I have it active, which this is something I would suggest using the Corrupted Mantle for, it's going to be quite nice, but it's not going to be something that's up all the time. And so if you're not comfortable with the fact that's not up all the time, you can very easily swap out the Furrow Jewels. I've seen a lot of people that are like, I don't play hammer without earplugs. Well, I mean, we got 3 to swap out, so you can go feral earplugs. You could go full part breaker. You could go full evade extender or put in 3 points of evade window. There's definitely a lot of flexibility, and given we're going to be sacrificing 15 attack to achieve that, keep in mind it's 15 very situational attack. It's attack that's only going to be up after we've already got popped in the face. So with that in mind, if you want to swap something into the build, I think it's very easy to swap out some of those Furrow Decos and put something in its place. But that's going to be it for the hammer build. We're going to be doing a hunt with each of these. I really like the para build. Just between the paralyze, the slugger, the charge up, and the stamina thief, I feel like I'm getting a fresh KO like every 30 seconds, which is really funny. But the damage build still also pumps for sure. So either way, let's do a hunt. I'm going to get something in the arena that'll be a good matchup, and we'll fight the same monster with both, just so y'all can get kind of an A to B comparison. And we got a Tempered Doshiguma over in the arena, which should be a pretty solid matchup for Hammer. Some good opportunities for offsets against this big boy. Oh, that was a whiff. One more time. Give me that mount. Oh my god. What is this? There it is. Boom. Boom. See, like earplugs would have been nice right there, right? Did you come out of the wall so I can hit you? Jesus Christ. Get a little heal off here. Oop. get a little sharpen up. Ooh. So anytime I'm going to the Big Bang, I always try to get out that upswing first, just because it's a very high damage move. So I'll come out of my stun and then go into the Big Bang setup. Ooh, that was a big hit. No. Oh god, I always mistime that, man. Getting fainted by a monster. We're gonna heal anyway, because I am not as confident as a hammer player as I am with a lot of other weapons. Oop. Come on, give me the weak spot. There we go. Oh. So not too shabby. A 546. Like I said, I don't really consider myself a hammer player. I think I have, actually, it might be my lowest hunted weapon. Oh no. Now I'm curious. Let's take a look real fast. Let's see. Where is that at? Where is it at? Quest results. No, no, no. Where the hell is it at? Member list. Enter profile. Okay, I gotta be out of the quest. We're gonna take a quick look after this quest wraps up. So I want to see if hammer is my least played. It might be. Let's see. Hunter profile. Going on over. And no, it's let's see. Heavy bowgun and light bowgun are at 15 and 16. Hammer is pretty low. It's at 21 though. You can very easily see what weapons I tend to vibe with the most. But I mean, that's also why I got like saved for last in the showcase, you know? It's like I understand the idea behind hammer, just I don't know, man. It's weird, you know? Because if you've watched my content for a while, you know I'm typically like bunga bunga, big bonk, you know, me like big bonk. And I don't know, I struggle to do it with the hammer. For some reason. We're gonna actually, just to show off, we're gonna do it with earplugs because actually Ro has I think he's a tier 2 rower, so we can go 2 earplugs here and be fine. We'll rock the 3 absentment. Just to give you all an idea of what it would be like when we're immune and constantly stunning it. Okay, so the time to beat.
Commencing quest now. Are you prepared?
545. We can beat 545, and that is proof that the stunning is superior to raw damage. giving me resentment. So the one thing that's iffy about a resentment-oriented build is outside of playing solo, you know, well, with solo play, you really need to leave your cat behind. And then in multiplayer, it's like, who's to say the horn man isn't like, I will not let you have red health. Like, it's a very real concern, you know? Oh, I should have let that out sooner. I'm not trying to get to that attack, it just keeps happening that way. Wondering if we'll get a third paralyze. If you are interested in pumping more paralyze, I did test Paralyzer Deco versus Charge Master, and at least on the tests I did, I was having better results with Charge Master. But I don't know if it was just like that particular monster was good with Charge Master, but it seemed like in general, because I was using that little DPS meter that I got at the bottom of the screen, and my Charge Master hits were building up more than my paralysis hits were with the power or with Para 3 Deco. Locked. Ooh. Let's go. Damn. 555. So that was within 10 seconds. What was it? Was it a 546 if I remember? I'll have to pull up the video and confirm. I will in just a second here. But that's, I mean, for a parahammer, that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty you know, pretty stoked about that. Let me confirm it. Let's see. What is that? First hunt. Let's see. Don't really. Where the time go? It might be my lowest. Yeah, 546, and this was a 555. So less than a 10-second difference. And keep in mind, this one, I mean, and I think this just goes to show, you know, like, I'm sure maybe I played Hammer a little bit better that round, but like, you know, there's people that stress over like, oh, well, you know, my Ardian isn't perfect, or I need to get these rolls, or I need to get these decos, or I don't have this, I don't have, like, bro, at the end of the day, you're gonna be fine. We were looking at a sub 10 damage difference using a crafted parahammer versus a flawless perfect Ardian roll, and it's just not something worth stressing over. But either way, we are going to wrap things up here for now. I'm sure someone's going to ask, hey, what about bow? What about heavy bowgun? To be honest, I don't know if I'm going to do the bowguns. I basically like went through them at launch, haven't really touched them since. With bow, I made kind of this like stupid pure raw bow build that's kind of janky. It works, but you know, the elemental bow builds, those haven't changed, and the builds I was using for bowgun, for the most part, those are identical to what they were previously. So maybe I'll do something with them. No guarantees though, because they're, you know, some of my least played weapons. But regardless of what happens, thanks for coming on by. Hope you enjoyed the guide, and I'll catch y'all next time.